Hey troops, welcome back to the channel. My name is Ryan. I'm a former commando from the United Kingdom. Today we've got another update for Ukraine. I just want to make one thing clear before we get into this. I, in no way, shape or form, want to take any sides on this war. I don't want to hold any opinions too far right or left. I want to remain quite neutral, as I believe I have been for all of these videos. And the very small part of the channel is about Ukraine. We have over 800 videos pertaining to complete different stuff. So I just want to make that clear. We all know the reason why I want to make that clear. This doesn't define my channel. This is just something that I want to give a little bit of information on and remain pretty neutral in the process. Okay, all I'm doing is relaying to you guys information that's already out into in the news sphere. So there's nothing new. There's no secrets here, guys. There's been a few strange things happen over the past couple of days. I'm not going to lie. I've been quite worried. I'm not going to say exactly what those things were because, yeah, I just want to toe the line, so to speak. This for me is not just a hobby. It's my livelihood. Like my wife and my daughter, they eat food because of this job. And it is a job, what I do on YouTube. It pays me money. Some days, some weeks, some months, it pays very well. Others, not so good. So that's just the truth of it. So with that being said, all of my content will automatically be uploaded to Rumble as a contingency. And, you know, why not? We all need a plan B, don't we? So all of it will be on Rumble as well. If you want to go join Rumble, I'll be putting other content solely for that. That'll be linked in the description. And mainly, I've just started a Patreon account. I've never went down the Patreon route in the 2.5 years of doing YouTube. It's something that I just didn't want to do. But I've got to have different options now, guys. So we're going to put extra content on that channel as well. More to come out, but please just consider joining that, helping me out a little bit. It just gives me that warm fuzzy feeling that this isn't my only basket full of eggs. I want to have a couple of other baskets that's, you know, got a few eggs in there as well, and these is just a contingency that I'm putting in place, troops. So Patreon is going to have content on, Rumble's going to have all of this content on anyway. We're going to continue to do this and other stuff. Again, I don't want this to be the main reason I'm on YouTube. Ukraine is just a phase that we're doing. It's not going to last forever. So yeah, I just want to make that quite clear, troops. But anyway, thanks for stopping by. If you have listened to that little intro, I apologize. Let's get into Kerch, the Crimea Bridge, the bridge that links, you know, Russia to Crimea, Ukraine. Logistically speaking, it's highlighted a lot of problems with Russia. Some that we've already known about for a long, long time. But the blast on the Crimea Bridge exasperates Russian logistical problems. Let's get into it, guys. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Now, the damage to the Kerch Bridge. Here. Boom. Kerch Bridge, I think it's called Tulsia Island. I don't know. There's two parts to this, all right? You've got the northern part, the southern part, and you've got a bit of landmass in between. It's a massive bit of land. Let's have a look before we get into this, just how long it is. Roughly speaking, 16, nearly 17 kilometers, roughly speaking, give or take, guys. It's a bloody beast of a feature, logistically speaking, to get across. That's a main supply hub for either side that occupies these areas. Okay. Now, damage to the Kerch Bridge connecting Crimea to Russia is likely to exacerbate Moscow's logistical issues in Ukraine. Ben Hodges is a former U.S. commanding general of the U.S. Army in Europe and currently advisor to Human Rights First, told this website, what we're reading off and quoting a lot of the information off, that the explosion will make it more difficult for Russia to bring in logistical support. That goes without saying. We can all definitely say it's going to really put a chokehold around the logistical neck of Russia. It's going to be pretty tough indeed to resupply without these routes. Okay, really tough indeed. You know, it is going to make it more difficult for them to bring in armored vehicles, for instance, into Crimea. You can't just say, I'll carry these vehicles and drop them out of the sky in bulk. It's not going to work like that. You do need roads. You do need elements of the road systems to be in place to be able to effectively sustain long endured battles. Kit and equipment does need maintaining, although Russia doesn't particularly like to maintain the kit, as we've seen. They're going to need to get kit in. So this is going to really, really affect their progress. The Ukrainians have consistently been hitting logistics, which is good. It's a good way to degrade Russian capabilities. Certainly is. And, Hodges said Russia's logistical network is not the kind of network needed to sustain long-term land operations, adding that Russians, Navy, Air Force, and Army have not worked in concert since the start of the invasion. What that means is they haven't really been gelled as a threesome, so to speak, and you need to be in the military. It's all well and good on camp, having that divide. Marines, we hate everyone, and Army, you can stay there, and Navy, yeah, to hell with the Navy. But in times of war, places like this, incidents like this, you really do need to work together and gel. That's one thing that we do very well in countries such as America, in countries such as the United Kingdom. Your European elements as well, doing very, very well with regards to that, working together. It's a very important part of the military puzzle, the jigsaw puzzle, okay? So yeah, asked on why Kiev is not claiming responsibility for the blast of the Kerch Bridge, Hodges actually said that they don't have to. What matters is the effect it's going to have. Really important that, why do they have to claim responsibility for something? At the end of the day, they're the ones getting invaded. It's the explanations isn't on them if they're doing well, especially, all right? And I don't think that this area in particular needs any explaining, all right? It's happened. It's going to help Ukraine, and which side you're on isn't really, it's irrelevant. That's going to help Ukraine no matter what, okay, guys? So we're going to see a little bit more traction, probably, in the whole of this area now. Where's my pen? Need to get my trusted pen out. But yeah, this whole area is going to be positively affected, I think, for Ukraine, and that probably tells a story with regards what might happen in the future. But this area, logistically speaking, is going to be struggling drastically, to the point of which I think it's going to render a lot of the military operations, the defensive positions there, useless if you can't resupply individuals. The only way I would see successfully resupplying this area, if you can't get armored vehicles through Russia via the Kerch border, is via the sea, okay, resupplying them via the maritime counter elements, navy and stuff like that. But that's going to be pretty hard, depending on the land, the gradient of land, to be able to do that. Those targets are going to be quite prominent targets as well, potentially. So yeah, it's going to be really tough on Russia. This area, I think, is going to become a massive topic of interest. So depending on how quick we can see Kherson, traction moving forward, I think what they're doing is the Ukrainians are really going to try to chokehold this area out. So the resupply is going to be difficult as they push on down from the north. I'm thinking past Kherson. Once they take that area, you're pushing on down. What are they going to do? They can't resupply themselves, so we're going to see fast traction southwards. The operation has taken a little bit of a change in pace. Up north, we've seen not too much movement over the past few days. A couple of settlements have been taken in the northern eastern part, as we've seen here. A couple of settlements, but I don't think that obviously hasn't been the primary focus of the past few days, especially that special bridge attack. Okay. That's got to be a special forces job. I don't see anything, anyone else being able to do such a job like that, especially behind enemy lines in that regard. I don't think Ukraine has anything that can reach that far. The HIMARS can't reach that far. I'm pretty sure of that. So yeah, difficult one. This one to gauge. Now, Ukrainians have, they've done a very good job of protecting information on the ground and stuff like that. Which is going to help them with regards not claiming responsibility. It's going to put Russia in a state of anxiety, a state of paranoia, and it's going to there's no value in them claiming the responsibility for this explosion. Even if they did, what does it change? It doesn't change anything, okay? But it's been alleged that Russian divers have assessed the extent of the Crimea Bridge damage. Russian divers are expected today they'll have examined the damage caused by a series of explosions on the Kerch Strait bridge connecting Russia and Crimea. Russia's deputy prime minister was quoted in Russian media stating divers would start work at 6 a.m. 0300 Greenwich Mean Time, so about 4 hours ago. So there might be a bit of an update on that soon. I'd like to see what comes out of the woodworks on that. Probably a special forces thing. The blasts on Saturday prompted Russia's President Putin to sign a decree authorizing greater security for the strategically important bridge. Crazy, really, that, this wasn't really taken care of sooner. Zero urgency, really, when we think about it. Let's have a look at... There we are. Where's this zoomed in bit? Yeah, let's have a look. So this is the damage, guys. This is what's been done. Yeah, it's been rendered useless, to say the least. We're looking at areas here. It's quite substantial. It looks like the explosions have happened via vehicle, potentially. But this bridge is completely out of action. 100%. That's not happening. Is this a sign that future operations of such are going to take place a lot more than what we're seeing? I think it could be. It's interesting to say the least. Let's have a look at some different maps. Yeah, one bridge is completely taken out here. This one there. You're not getting past there. This one looks like it's been bombarded too. Is that going to seriously affect? I mean, we can see here one side of the bridge looks like it's still okay. It looks like it can still move on that, but it's definitely going to slow down the movements, that's for sure. 100%. But yeah, interesting times, guys. This is the Crimea Bridge. It's a big old thing, that's for sure. Blast damage crossing Russia and Crimea. This is going to change the logistical scope of the war 100%. We've got soldiers on the bridge there. Yeah, it looks like you can still access part of it. I wouldn't be surprised if this is mended pretty soon. I do think that this could be mended pretty soon, So yeah, I mean, it is alleged as well that Russia has actually reopened that bridge just hours after the huge explosion there. So it doesn't look as if it's absolutely rendered useless. Moving heavy machinery across there will be difficult anyway. There'll be a lot more worried in case of future occurrences of a similar nature, that's for sure. And if other parts of that bridge get taken out, then it's going to be something that is going to definitely change the way Russia supplies their frontline troops. 100%. We're going to see, I think, a little bit more coming out of the woodwork on this. I don't know why I've got my headphones on. I don't need them on. But yeah, I thought I'd do a little bit of an update on the Crimea Bridge, because yesterday, again, we didn't know if we could do this type of stuff anymore. It's worrying times, guys. I'll reiterate, if you want to go support the Patreon and go follow us on our other channel on Rumble, I'd really appreciate it. I'll put those links in the description, troops, for you, but I'd really appreciate that. We are going to do a full update covering yesterday and today later on tonight. So I just want to say thank you, guys. You guys are fantastic. I really do appreciate all the support from you. I really do. All right, the love and support from everyone is fantastic. So yeah, here we are. That's another mini update of the day. We're going to get another one out tonight. And if you've made it this far, let me know in the comments, guys. I want to judge how many people are actually bothered to stay this long and listen to me, because it's interesting, to say the least, if you are. And yeah, I just want to say thank you. So, troops, a little bit different today. Thank you, and I'll see you very, very soon. Peace.